been a long journey, but we're here. The season finale of season 7.
Season 7.
Of Game of Thrones.
7 years.
And
a little over 7 years.
A little over it now, yeah. And I'm guessing it's gonna be like 10 years until we get the last season.
No, it's gonna come out next year, and then we're all either gonna cry or
I think everything.
cheer.
We're all gonna have every
Emotion.
discernible emotion, and probably some new ones that aren't invented yet by the ending of the show.
Yeah.
Man, so many things happen.
This is a big episode. The
Right.
longest of the series so far.
80-something minutes?
I think it was 80 on the dot. Don't quote me.
That's a movie length, man. That's pretty freaking long.
It's
so.
just about movie like 90.
Yeah,
but
I've seen live action movies that like comedies that are like short, a little shorter than 90 minutes, so it almost fits into that kind of range. So
Yeah.
I would love to see one of these episodes up on the big screen.
Oh my god.
I know they did a couple years ago. They played like the last couple episodes of season 5 or something in theaters or something like that.
That'd be the most depressing season
I know, season 5. I was just like, God, just kill us.
Yeah, that was emotional torture.
But I would love to, like, I mean, I know that this is implausible, or I probably wouldn't make money back on it. But it would be awesome if, like, every week in the last season there would be like a theater showing the episode, because I would go to a theater every week.
I would spend $10.
Absolutely.
Every ticket. I wouldn't even do
IMAX.
Yeah. Oh yeah, IMAX. Oh my god.
Yeah, that would
no
be
3D.
awesome.
No 3D. Screw this.
No 3D.
No 3D. Get out of here.
Game of Thrones doesn't need 3D. Game of Thrones is better than the concept of 3-dimensional movies.
Yeah.
Okay?
I wouldn't be able to handle that if that looked 3-dimensional, because it's way too real in my head.
Yeah.
And emotionally, so.
I know.
Anyway.
Right. Well, you took the notes this week.
I did take the notes.
And there's a lot to get through.
There's 8 pages.
So, of course, as always, spoilers on this. This is the finale review, so if you guys haven't seen the finale yet, and sometimes you watch these episodes before you go to watch the actual episode of Game of Thrones, I know why you would do that, but don't do that with this one. Watch the finale and then come back.
Yeah, there's a lot to get through. We're going to try and blaze through it as fast as we can. We're going to stick on points. We're going to kind of just go fast on some other points. So, all right. Let's do this.
Okay.
All right. First thing we see is the Unsullied lined up outside King's Landing. We see the Dothraki riding up in front of them.
This is outside of the walls of King's Landing.
Yeah, the walls of King's Landing.
So what we saw in the episode preview from last week was this big meeting, and this is sort of them coming into King's Landing. This is all of Daenerys' might, minus her and her dragons, but everything else is there. All of her armies, all her supporters, everyone is there at the same time.
And we see Jon and company on Dany's boat, and they're kind of talking a little bit. You see them going in towards King's Landing.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Hound poking around down in the down below in the boat, and he kind of like kicks the box that's got the white in it.
Right.
And
This is crazy.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Walks out, and then moves on to Cersei. She's talking to the mountain, and she's basically like, all right, if shit goes south. Who did she say killed first?
I think she said kill Daenerys.
Kill Daenerys.
And then
her brother, yeah.
And then Jon.
Yeah. And then she's like, after that, kill whoever you...
Yeah, there's no order after that.
And then Jaime kind of looks at her like...
Right.
A little bit.
There's a lot of that from Jaime in this episode.
Yeah, and then we go to Dany and company, Dany's company. So Jon's
leading the charge, basically, and
Tyrion, Hound, and
so all the supporters, Davos, Jorah, everyone from her side, like all her major people. There. So
they walk to the dragon pit. They kind of meet up and see Bronn. Bronn is escorting Brienne and Podrick because they were coming from Winterfell, and so they all kind of like talk for a minute, and then they start walking together.
Right.
Brienne and the Hound speak,
which is very good. So we get to see that the Hound still really cares for Arya, and there's a little back and forth about what she's become. What does Brienne say? Like, she doesn't. You don't want to mess with her. Like, whoever gets in her way.
Well, he's like, who's protecting her if you're here? And she's like, the person who needs protecting is whoever gets in her way, or something like that. And he kind of just smiles.
Yeah, he goes like, not me.
Yeah, not me.
Ooh, yes.
He's like, all right. And then Bronn and Tyrion are speaking.
Which is a nice reunion as well, because we haven't seen them interact in a long time.
Yeah, talking about like who he's fighting for and taking care of himself. And Bronn's like, I set all this shit up, and you all die, and this and that.
Right.
I'm taking care of myself.
Right.
And
we saw Bronn and Tyrion talk like really quickly before he met with Jaime, right?
Yeah.
But because he kind of set up the meeting, but we didn't see them like interact like this. So
yeah.
It was cool to see that there's still this camaraderie between them.
And even Tyrion goes, or it's good to see you, and Bronn's like, yeah, it's good to see you too.
Yeah. You too.
And then so we get everybody walks into the Dragon's Pit, the old decrepit burned down like arena that they used to keep the dragons at.
Yeah.
And so Cersei and them walk in. You see Euron, and Cersei.
So all of Cersei's people come in.
Yeah,
so like all the major characters, for the most part, like missing a few, are in this one scene.
Yeah.
And it's the first time it's ever happened that this many characters from all these different storylines are in the same place at the same time talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's a big moment for the show.
And basically we see everybody kind of sits down, it's kind of tense looking at each other, and then the Hound walks up to the Mountain. The Mountain walks up to him and he's like, is that you? Yeah, that's you. You're even uglier than me now.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And he was like saying like, the one who's coming for you, or you've always known who's coming.
Yeah, you know who's coming for you, or something like that.
Yeah, basically saying like, I'm gonna be the one to kill you.
Yeah.
And so Hound sits down. John and then we see, or Cersei's like, where is she?
Right, and there's this little awkward 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Like she's almost here. Just calm down.
We hear the screech of a dragon. She flies in on Drogon. He settles on top of the structure.
Oh, yeah, what a moment that was.
And then he just kind of crawls down, and it was just this not to be fucked with air.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And she gets off, walks in like, sorry I'm late.
Right, basically.
And Cersei's like, we were waiting.
Yeah, you kept us waiting for 3 Mississippi.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So Jon, Cersei, and Dany talk about a truce.
Right. Okay, so this is the whole thing that this episode's been building up towards. So Jon is kind of trying to explain everything, but even before words can get out, Tyrion comes out first.
Oh,
yeah. Right, and Euron is sort of making fun of him being a dwarf and all this stuff. And he kind of is goading Theon to submit to him so he'll save Yara and everything, because he still has her over there, I'm guessing. So there's a little tension there, but then Cersei and everyone else tells Euron to calm down, so he sits back down. And I think that's when Tyrion introduces Jon to explain what's going on. And then he tells the Hound to bring out the white.
Yeah, he's got brings out the white, opens up the box, kicks it over, and the white flies out and just immediately books it straight at Cersei.
Yep. And
the Hound stops him.
Yeah.
And it's like,
why
though?
Why though?
That would have been perfect. Oops, sorry, the white killed you. My bad. Qyburn, the Hound brings it back and he chops it in half, he chops off an arm. Qyburn gets up and he's got a straight raging hard on,
Dude,
my god.
He's like, this is fascinating.
Picks up the fucking hand.
Yeah, he's like, can I keep that?
Yeah. And then Jon explains how to kill them. He's like,
so you kill them by fire, or
so
he has a dragon glass dagger and stabs it, and it's done.
Yes.
So that's the end of the white, but Cersei and everyone in King's Landing, all the major people from there have seen that whites are real.
You saw Cersei, Jaime got up holy shit.
Right.
He's already seen the dragon, so he's pretty rattled. Now he sees the white, he's like, sweet Jesus.
What the hell is going on?
And then Cersei is pretty rattled, we see that, everybody else is. And then basically Euron gets up and he's like, alright, I'm piecing the fuck out. First he asks him, can they swim? Nope. Alright, later, we're going back to the Iron Islands. He looks at Dany and says, go back to your island. When they've killed everybody, let's come back and take over.
Right.
Later.
They're going to be the only survivors, basically.
Yeah,
which is, smart if you're just trying to survive. Yeah. But, Euron is Euron, and there's other motives that we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
But, so from there, what happens next in this giant episode?
So basically Cersei's like, we'll agree to not have a war with you.
Oh, yes.
And we agree to fight only if Jon stays in the north.
Yeah.
Does not help Daenerys and refuses to kneel to her.
Right. He stays neutral.
Yeah. Give me your word. And he's like, I can't do that. Yeah. I already pledged myself to her. Fuck off.
Right. So, but this is kind of a big moment where she like breaks the deal. This is a deal breaker for Cersei, like because she doesn't want to get jumped right after they win the war with the White Walkers army and stuff. So, she's just pissed and like storms out, and everyone's like, "The fuck, Jon?" Everyone there is just like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
You ever heard of lying? Yeah. Tyrion had some good lines there.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of one time just even lying a little bit?
Yes, a little bit. But Jon, being the great morally upright character he is, saying that like when it comes to the North, like he will not like have one big lie that leads into another one, that leads into another one, and then you can't trust anybody. Basically, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
So Jon being what he is, I mean, you can't fault him for that.
Yeah. I think that's a little out of order, but anyway, Brienne immediately goes to Jaime like, "Yo, speak to the Queen. This is bullshit."
Yeah.
You know, what does she say? Fuck. Loyalty?
Yeah.
She's like, fuck loyalty.
I know, and then Jaime's like, loyalty? What?
Yeah.
You taught me about loyalty.
And basically, like, everybody's gonna die.
Yeah.
And he's listening, and so, Dany's upset with Jon, and Tyrion says, he's gonna go talk to Cersei alone. Everybody's like, you're gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
She's like, so gonna kill
probably.
you. Probably. Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, then he gets in, so he gets in like the hallway into her chambers, right?
Yeah, the mountain's leading him, and then he stops, and Jaime's right there, and he talks to him, and he's basically like, you know, that we're both fools, and then he's like, oh yeah, idiot, and then he goes, well, I guess I should say goodbye,
right?
You know, like goodbye, yeah, okay, and then Tyrion walks into Cersei's chamber with the mountain. Basically, Cersei is just automatically, you killed my mother. You killed my family. Because of you shooting father, it opened season on us. They would have never come at us if, you know, father was still here.
Right.
You killed, or you may not have killed
Joffrey.
You may not have killed Joffrey, but you killed
Tommen and Marcella.
And this and that. And he's like, no, love them.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always love them.
It's a really good scene.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Everything
kind of comes to a point finally with Cersei and Tyrion.
She's practically shaking.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've always, if in your mind, I killed mother, I killed dad, I killed your family, or I killed your beautiful children. Why not kill me? Kill me right now, and basically, be done with it. Half of the reason why she wants to kill Dany is because Tyrion's with her.
Right. I like how he tries to explain, like, I'm not trying to kill our family. I'm trying to stay on Daenerys' side. So like there'd be peace, kind of like he believes in her as a peaceful ruler who can unite everybody and that kind of thing. So he's trying to preserve his family as well, and he's got a lot of motives for helping Daenerys, but he really believes in her too.
Yeah.
So that's a great arc for Tyrion. I love like his conflicts and his like how everything meets up, and he's trying to appeal to Cersei, who's never listened to him a day in her life.
For reason,
yeah.
Really.
And like them going back and forth on that is just a really fun scene. And it looks like the mountain's about to go after Tyrion, and we're like, oh,
yeah. And he pulls his sword a little bit,
and
she's kind of like looking, and then she kind of like loses it.
She can't do it. Yeah, she can't do it.
Which is really weird, because I thought she was going to lop his head off.
Well, she's talking about family the entire time, right?
Yeah.
And he is still her family.
Yeah.
So no matter what, like just like Tywin used to say before he just was about to, put him on trial for death or whatever.
Yeah.
He said that you're still my son. You know what I mean? You're still a Lannister. You're still a Lannister. I remember like how Charles Dance said that. It was very intimidating.
Yeah.
So.
And then basically, she's like, I don't care about Westeros. I don't care about anybody. When I saw that white coming at me, I saw the black throat, or whatever. The only thing I saw was protecting my family. And she kind of like pats her belly.
Yeah.
And Tyrion's like,
yeah,
you're pregnant?
You're pregnant. Yeah. So just from there, we kind of just cut back, and he somehow convinced her to protect the baby.
Yeah, Jon and Dany are waiting.
Right.
Waiting for Tyrion, and they talk about the dragon pits.
Right.
And how
that's a little history there.
Yeah, she's like, this was the death of or the start of the.
Yeah, because without the dragons, there's nothing extraordinary about the Targaryens. And since they kept them in the dragon pits for so long, the generations got smaller and smaller until they died out.
Yeah. So. And then she's said, talking about her family, and they died out, and how she can't have kids, and she says it again, and he's like, "Who told you that?" The witch who what is it?
Murdered your husband or
murdered my husband and killed my baby or something.
Yeah, basically.
And he's like, well, maybe she's not the
best source for true information.
Yeah, something like that, or truth or whatever. Tyrion comes back out and then pauses a beat, and then we see Cersei and company walk out, and she says she will have her armies march north and they will fight together in the Great War. And we're all kind of like, holy shit. And everybody on the show is like, whoa, let's get to that later. We'll get to that.
Wait, which part? Which part are you about to talk about?
Well, I'm just going to go in order.
Oh.
You're talking about the thing she says later, right?
I was talking about how she said that, like, everyone remember that I did this.
Oh, okay,
yeah. So she says, like, everyone remember that I did this. Like, I helped you when I could have not helped you. So whatever happens afterwards, you better remember this.
Yeah.
And like, she did this with no faith from Jon or anyone else. Like, there's no favors exchanged. She's just helping Daenerys' cause, basically.
Yeah. And then cut back to Winterfell. It's the first time we've been in Winterfell so far this episode.
And we were all like,
So Sansa's talking to Littlefinger, and basically she knows about, Jon sent her a letter about him pledging kind of fealty to Daenerys, and she's like, what the hell? And then Littlefinger does what Littlefinger does, starts sowing oats of doubt, or seeds of doubt,
right,
in Jon and Arya. And like, let's play a game, I like to play a game, and what's the worst motive or reason they could have behind this decision, and see if that fits with what is happening. And he starts talking about Arya, and basically she's like, Arya's here to kill me, to take over the to be the Lady of Winterfell,
right,
and this and that. And it's just like, what the hell?
At that point, we're like, okay.
Like, why? Why would Sansa believe this douchebag?
I know.
It's like, I mean, she has.
I mean, there's like little seeds of her believing him before, and how he built her up kind of as what she is now.
Yeah. Then we go back to Dragonstone, and they're trying to Dany and company are trying to game plan how to get to the north, and Jorah's like, you should fly, because one stray bolt from an arrow or from crossbow or whatever from a Northman who remembers how your father basically roasted everybody.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a hero, and then you're dead.
Yeah.
And Jon's like, no, you need to go up there, sail there, and then march through to the north. And she's like, I'm not here to conquer Winterfell. I'm here to help it.
Right.
We're gonna march north, and basically everybody's gonna see me helping.
Yeah. Right.
And so they agree to sail north. And then they're in the throne room or whatever of Dragonstone, and Theon.
Oh, this is a great scene.
Theon calls to Jon like, yo, let me talk to you, bro. And Davos walks away, and Jon and Theon speak of Jon always doing what was right, and even how when they were growing up, he always did what was right, and it always seems easy for him. Jon, like, it was never easy. I've done plenty of things that I've regretted, and he's like, not as much as not compared to me, and he's like, no, not compared to you. And then he talks of betraying Ned, and what he did, betrayed Ned and betrayed his family, and this and that. What's the line?
Which one?
About
the forgiving him?
Yeah.
Well, he says, like, I can't forgive you for everything because it's not my place, but the stuff that I can forgive you for, I do forgive you for.
Yeah.
And this is such a great scene for both these guys, especially for Theon, because this is kind of his coming back moment.
Yeah, his full redemption arc, if you will.
Kind of.
And then Theon's like, there's always this choice and this impossible choice I had to make, am I Greyjoy or am I Stark? And, I could never make it. And Jon's basically like, you're a Greyjoy and you're a Stark.
Right.
And then he talks of saving Arya, and Jon's like, then what are you still talking to me?
Yara, yeah.
Yara. Sorry.
Right.
He's like, what are you still talking
to me? That was
for?
great. You're still talking to me.
And he just walks away, and then so Theon goes out to the shore where the remaining Greyjoys that were fighting for Yara are. And he's like, yo, we gotta go save Yara. And
the head guy's like, no. No, I don't think so, man. Sorry. They're gonna go to the Iron Islands and wait this out, or not Iron Islands, some island.
Find an island.
They're gonna kill everybody and take their wives. And he's like, we don't do that anymore. And they're like, we do this. Yeah, we do.
You already said we didn't.
Yeah, right.
So,
so they fight. They slug it out.
Captain Dude is beating the shit out of
Theon. Yeah, so he's getting his ass kicked, but
and he keeps getting up though.
Yeah, he keeps getting back up. So it's like, stay down or I'll kill you, and he keeps getting back up.
Yeah.
And this guy, like, he was having like a heart attack or something, because like he punched him a couple times. Like, just.
Yeah, he was winded. It's like, I don't know, he's a big guy. I don't know.
I just stay down there.
They do a lot of sailing. I don't think they're that physical.
I guess.
Maybe
they're not. It's just a little ridiculous on that point.
But so Theon like kind of runs up to him, and the guy grabs him. He throws a knee into the crotch.
Right.
And
like
nothing.
5 knees.
Yeah. He just looks at Theon kind of like, huh? And Theon's just kind of like nothing there, bro.
See, I always thought
it was just the dick.
Just his penis was cut off by Ramsay, but apparently all the bits were cut off there.
He shakes the.
Yeah, so I guess everything's gone there, which is pretty. Oh,
yeah,
that's a much worse situation.
So,
yeah, that's. Ooh. Anyway, that's a revelation.
So yeah, he turns the tide with the no dick knee hit, and
he gets on top of that really winded guy with a heart attack
and beats the shit out.
And he beats him up, and the rest of the Greyjoys agree to go after Yara. I'm thinking that Yara is with Euron, so they're gonna have to find where Euron is, as we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
So what comes up next there?
Okay, after that, that's the end of that. Turns the tide of the fight. Pages and pages. Here we go. We are, let's make sure, yep. Back in Winterfell.
Okay.
Alright,
good
so
scene here.
Sansa's on the top of the, like the outer wall for Winterfell, and she's looking out into the distance, and then she goes to one of her guardsmen and says, bring Arya to the Great Hall. I bring my sister to the Great Hall. And so she's in there, and Arya's like, do what you gotta do, basically. I'm here, do what you gotta do.
Right.
And Sansa's like, you have been accused of murder and treason. Treason and like conspiracy or whatever to commit murder or something like that.
Yeah.
And what do you say?
How do you plead?
How do you plead, Littlefinger?
Lord Baelish.
Or Lord Baelish, yeah. And
ooh,
we lost our shit.
Oh, we're like, yes.
Okay, he's just kind of like grinning a little bit. He's just,
yeah, he's like,
me?
What?
And
Sansa, no.
Yeah, right.
But I'm Peter Baelish.
And I love you.
You can't do this.
I love
I'm
you.
gonna come back as a White Walker and kill you all.
But first, I love you now.
I love you. So this scene, like, culminated like these past, I guess, just 1 or 2 episodes where like the Winterfell thing was just everyone was like, oh god.
Yeah.
And I figured like this might be where they were going with this, with Arya figuring it out. And somebody disagreed with me on like Twitter or something. I was like, I told you.
Yeah.
I knew this.
I actually disagreed with him as well. I figured Peter Baelish was such a snake that he was gonna somehow stick it out
Not this
to
time.
the last season. And
Not this time. No.
So basically, she's like, she brings out all of the shit, like straight from the beginning of the series. Like,
right.
You gave.
From John Aaron, like even from the very first
Yeah.
episode of John Aaron, who killed John Aaron, that was like he set that up.
Yeah, you gave her aunt the tears of whatever, the poison to kill John Aaron. He set that up.
Yeah.
Set up the war with the
Starks and Lannisters.
Lannisters.
Yeah.
You set up my father. You colluded with Cersei to set up my father. You got him falsely imprisoned and beheaded, and he's just like kind of pleading like, no, you weren't there. You don't know. I plead. I deny it. And you're like, do you deny it? I deny it. And no, he's like, no one here knows what was there. And he's like, I was.
Right.
Or I know.
He just says you held a knife to his throat, and you said I told you not to trust me.
Yeah. And so he's just like, oh shit. And then he starts begging like a little bitch.
Yeah, he starts fake crying or whatever.
Yeah, a little blubbering.
Yeah,
like,
I loved your father.
Or
your mother.
Yeah, I loved your mother since boyhood. And I loved you. And
yeah.
This and that. And begs for his life. And Sansa starts using his game against him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you, like the whole motives game or whatever.
Right.
And starts talking about that. Basically, she passes judgment. Nods to Arya. Arya walks up.
slice of the throat
with the dagger. That he had tried to get Bran killed with.
Right. So that was
some poetic justice.
This was a full circle moment. I just really want to quickly talk about this whole arc. So I'm glad the payoff was great, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
I still think it was a bit of a waste of time in like the last couple episodes, like to kind of do this whole build-up thing where like, but we're gonna kill Peter Baelish. It was like, I mean, I kind of thought, because I said last time that Arya is a smarter character than this.
Yeah.
And I figured something like that might happen, but like, how they built up to it, like their personal conversations when Littlefinger wasn't even around, like what the hell was that then? Did they not figure it out yet, or what was going on? And I just felt like that really detracted from the last episode, and we didn't really need that. We could have gotten to this point a different way than kind of wasting time in the last episode. But it was a good payoff here.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm glad it paid
like,
off.
I was so happy. I put in just big, bold, Arya slices his throat, happy face.
Yes.
It's great. I was so happy.
Yeah, and the episode's not even over, folks.
No! There's more pages!
There's more!
There's more! Alright, next, go to King's Landing. Jaime's planning like how to get to the north with everybody. Like, alright, we're gonna go help, you know, with the White Walkers and how we're gonna get to north. And Cersei's like, yo, let me get the room. Jaime, come here. Hey, we're not fucking going to the north. Are you crazy? And he's like, what? You just said.
Right.
And take it away.
Yeah, so they're having a conversation about loyalty and everything, and how Jaime said, I pledged to go there. I made a pledge, I made a vow, I'm going to fight with them because that's what we agreed. I already told all the men. And then she brings up that what's happening is not exactly what it seems with her. So she lied to protect her family again, like she says 100,000 motherfucking times. She brings up the baby, all that stuff, and she says that the Iron Bank is going to be the key to her victory over Daenerys and everything.
And we're just kind of like, what?
Yeah, like, what the hell does that mean? So, they were saying that Highgarden was connect, right?
They had, like, they were able to buy, like, all those people from Highgarden.
Oh, so they're buying them. So, so the Golden Company, now correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I read about the Golden Company in the World of Ice and Fire book, and I'm like 99% sure they were derived from the Blackfire Rebellions. So that was a Targaryen war. There was like 6 of them or 7 of them or something, where a bastard of King Aegon IV, I think.
I don't remember that.
So he took up Blackfire, the House Valyrian steel sword of the Targaryen house, and was warring with the legitimate sons of the Targaryen, of Aegon and stuff, and that happened over and over and over again. And I think the Golden Company spawned from that, and now they're kind of, I don't think anyone's left from the Blackfire Rebellion. I think it's just kind of like descendants of the men who fought for them, and they're called the Golden Company, and they're in Essos right now, and there's 20,000 men. So she brings up, Cersei does, that would you really think Euron went back to the Iron Islands? No.
Yeah. Nobody walks away from me.
Nobody walks away from me, because he still wants to be king.
Yeah.
And marry Cersei. So he goes to Essos to get the Iron Company to bring them back to defend and probably kill Daenerys at the most opportune time. Or
basically,
like
after the Whites get through with Daenerys and they get through with the Whites, basically she's still banking on Daenerys beating them, but being severely weakened. So she's gonna march right in after the victory and kill whatever's left of Daenerys and Jon's army.
Right.
And then she's gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna rule together.
So it's a good plan in terms of surviving a little bit longer, but then Jaime brings up the valid points that, okay, let's say the living win. They come down, they kill us, right?
Because we, turned on them.
Right.
And we,
Right. I think this is before she actually brought up the Golden Company, but still, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like, 20,000 men and, like, the dragons, I don't know. It depends on who survives. And then, but if the dead win, they're screwed anyway.
Yeah, they're going to come down and kill us. So it's like, either way, we're dead.
They're still screwed. So she's all about protecting her family and her unborn child now with Jaime again. And this is where he says no. Like, and this goes back to his conversation with Brienne about loyalty again. Like, I made a pledge. You made a pledge. I'm going north to fight with them. Because if we don't stop them, everything is for nothing. And then she's like, oh, that's treason, isn't it? And she tells, there's a very tense couple seconds here with the Mountain.
Well, yeah, but she's like, you colluded with our brother, set up this meeting. That's treason. If anybody should die,
she brings up all the charges that would be against him, kind of.
Yeah, so, like, should I kill you?
Right.
And he kind of just looks at her and is like, all right, well, if you're gonna do it, then
Yeah, do it. Kind of mirroring what Tyrion had earlier, right?
Yeah. And she nods to the mountain.
Yeah.
He takes out his sword.
Yeah, and he kind of, you could see how flabbergasted Jaime is at this point, because he's just like what? Yeah. And I don't believe you, right?
Yeah.
And he just walks away.
Out. And then the mountain kind of follows him, and we're just like,
but then he doesn't.
What's going on?
He doesn't follow him all the way out. He kind of just lets him pass, and like he kind of stops because I guess Cersei didn't tell him to go after him. And then he's outside of King's Landing. He's putting on his glove. It's getting cold out, and you see snowflakes start falling everywhere. And we get some really nice shots of King's Landing with snow starting to fall.
Yeah, it's very dark and gray.
And it's leading up.
You see a little bit on the inside of King's Landing. Not that many people in the streets.
Right.
A couple of people that were cloaked. So it's like, okay, everybody's staying inside. Right. Now it's getting... Okay,
it's great trailer shots if they're going to use that for the next season or whatever.
Absolutely.
But,
so he's basically just going north.
He's going north. It looks like Cersei isn't going to send her army. It's just going to be Jaime. So he's going to help fight the good guys, and this is a complete arc for him. He's finally left Cersei, and he's going to truly be a righteous character now. Yeah. He had that flaw with Cersei before, and his loyalty has been building up towards doing the right thing, and now I think he's fully on the good guy side.
Yep.
Although no Bronn, which sucks, but maybe he'll show up later.
All right, so
there's still more.
Jaime or Cersei at one point she's talking about Daenerys, and she's like, there are 2 dragons. You're worth 3, so she kind of
brings up
like
they could be
something
killed.
Happened to the one dragon, so they're vulnerable. But okay, and then accuses Jaime of treason, killed, Jaime escaped, first Northstone. Okay, so now we're all right. Here we go. We're in the last stretch of the episode. Kind of. We're back in Winterfell. We see Sam going through the streets of Winterfell, and then you see Bran sitting down, and Sam kind of knocks on the door. Yeah.
As Bran just sits there.
Well, yeah. Sam knocks on the door, comes in like, "Hey, you remember me?"
Yeah, it's like Sam O'Talley. You're a good man. I like how Sam's little facial expression is like, yeah, and he comes in. It's pretty funny.
Yep.
And their back and forth is pretty good and extremely important.
Oh my god. So, all right, I can't just you go ahead. You go. Too much. Too much.
Well, so Bran trusts Sam because he knows that he helped him through the wall and everything, and he knows he's like Jon's best friend. Yeah. So he tells him what he knows and only he knows. Besides, I guess, Howland Reed. But I don't guess we might not even see him in the show.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah.
Doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. But Bran brings up that Jon is not Ned's son.
Yeah.
Ned's son. He is the son of Lyanna Stark, Bran's aunt, and Rhaegar Targaryen.
And so he tells them about it.
Finally get confirmation. They say it.
Yeah. And so he said he was born in was that Bravos? No,
Dorne.
Dorne,
Dorne.
In the tower in Dorne. And he says, so his name isn't Jon Snow, it's Sand. And Sam's like, no, it's not. He's like, and then Bran goes, well, no, that's what they call bastards in Dorne. It's Sand, not Snow. And then so Sam tells him of the secret ceremony that the Archmaester or whatever
they annulled
performed Rhaegar's marriage and performed the secret ceremony of Rhaegar and Lyanna. And so then Sam
Lyanna so they get married and he asks,
Sam goes
I think Bran says, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Can you check?
Is this something you can see?"
Yeah.
Cuts to Bran standing up in the field,
and we see Rhaegar. Yeah, we see Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark getting married properly. So Jon's not a bastard. And we see Rhaegar for the first time ever on the show.
And he looks so much like Viserys.
He looks exactly like him almost. I don't think it's the same actor. He looks a little bit bigger.
Yeah, thicker, like a thicker build, thicker face.
Right, a little bit bigger features and stuff, more stout and everything.
Yeah, but it was like spitting image. Crazy.
Yeah, it looks a lot like him.
We just stop and look at it like, is that the same actor? Like,
yeah,
it was crazy.
It looks a lot like him, but so the confirmation is right there, and then we even found out later, like we hear what Ned was being whispered to by his sister, and it said his name is Aegon Targaryen.
Yep.
So Jon's real name is not Jon Snow, it's Aegon Targaryen. Aegon the Sixth.
God.
Dude.
That
was the moment.
So,
what is happening?
Sorry.
What was that?
We had Game of Thrones pause because we were checking our facts and stuff like that.
Does it just play?
It just plays sometimes. I don't know. It's weird. That's the power of Game of Thrones. It needs to be watched.
I guess so.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah. But this is a huge revelation, and then Bran even goes further and says he's not a bastard.
Yeah.
Or a Stark. I mean, well, he is half Stark, but he's the heir to the Iron Throne.
Yeah, he is the heir to the Iron Throne.
He's the true heir to the Iron Throne.
And as he's saying this, he's being... I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so as all this stuff is happening, we're seeing the past of Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark being married, and then Lyanna delivering the child, being all bloody, talking to Ned.
Robert's rebellion was built on a lie. That's another thing.
Oh yeah, he said Robert's rebellion was built on a lie. So in between those scenes, we see Jon on the ship when they're sailing to the north. He knocks on Daenerys' door.
We knew where this was going.
She opens the door. He kind of looks at her, and he walks in and shuts the door. And then we see a little bit more of the scene.
Tyrion goes in.
And Tyrion sees...
He doesn't go in, but he sees.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
He sees Jon go in, and he's kind of standing at the edge of the hall, and he's just kind of like looking a little upset. And so then we cut to the scene after saying the Aegon Targaryen.
Yeah.
That is his name. We cut to Jon and Dany in the bed, naked,
boning.
Oh,
we see thrusting.
Yeah, they just left Dragonbone. I mean Stone.
Oh God, man! This actually
so they're straight boning, and you got a voiceover of Bran saying he is the rightful heir to the throne.
Yeah,
and it's like, no.
So it's like, it's his aunt.
That's your aunt.
And nephew are boning on screen, so that's gross.
Man.
Not okay with that, honestly.
I
knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, everybody kind of like, oh my God, Jon, and it's like, no, aunt and nephew. If you aren't cool with Cersei and Jaime, you shouldn't be cool with Dany and Jon.
Yeah,
no one should be cool with this.
So, I mean, Tyrion looks super concerned. So, I think he thinks that this puts everything on the line because if she gets pregnant from Jon, which, I mean,
she kept on saying
she can't get
pregnant, she can't be pregnant.
But maybe it's possible with
this would be a really big twist.
Which scientifically actually shouldn't be all that possible because they're so inbred that they probably wouldn't be able to actually have kids. But anyway,
they shouldn't even be functioning.
Yeah, right. Especially Daenerys.
Yeah,
Jon at least has, two completely separate lineages.
Yeah, so he would be mostly okay.
Daenerys is completely inbred.
Oh,
so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So basically after that, we see Tyrion. It kind of ends with Tyrion walking back into his house. He looks pissed.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to Sansa and Arya on the wall at Winterfell.
Yeah.
And they're kind of discussing Littlefinger and the killing of him.
Reminiscing about Ned.
Yeah,
which got me. It really makes me want to see Ned show up on the show again. Like somehow.
Force Ghost.
Sean Bean, can we do that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't even mind if he was
so
just holding
much.
his head.
That's terrible. But I miss Sean Bean in the show, man. Even since I know it's been years since the first season, but I miss Ned just like the characters do. And I know that's like the whole point of it, but I wish we could see something else of him because he was so good, Yeah. I wish we could see.
They're
more
talking
of
about some of his, bits of wisdom. And, the winter winds blow and the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
It's totally a trailer line.
Oh, absolutely. And so they're kind of just like happy, and basically they're like sticking together.
Yeah.
And then we see Bran. He's got the white eyes, so we know he's warged into something.
Right.
Cuts to a sweeping shot of ravens over the end of Eastwatch. So the Eastwatch is the end of the wall, the wall from the north, and we see it it ends at the sea.
Right.
And so it's this nice point, like an arrow, like they say.
Right.
And so we see the ravens, and we go to see Tormund and Beric. They're on the wall, and they're looking down, and Tormund's like, oh, I never get used to this shit. The crows say I'll get used to it. And so they're looking out into the forest. They got a large clearing before the forest, and you see a dude on a horse walk out, and another dude, and some White Walkers come out. So we got the lieutenants and the whites walking out. So they all walk out, and he's just like, oh shit. And everybody's kind of like, crap. You see them all walk out, and the whole army, and they just stop. And Tormund and Beric are just kind of like looking at it, like, what the hell?
What do we do?
And then you hear in the distance the cry of the ice dragon.
Yeah, but it's not even like a regular dragon cry like we heard before. It's like distorted and weird.
Very high.
Yeah, so
and so basically
we see it coming.
And then you see a jet of like this blue violet flame.
Yeah.
Or ice or something.
It was like ice flame or something like that. Some kind of energy.
It had like a lot of power to it.
Yeah.
And then you see the fucking Night King.
Yeah, he's just on the back, but he has no expression because he never has an expression.
Yeah.
So he's just like riding like. You just see him like on the back, and he's just like.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh my god, he's riding him, and so the dragon starts just blasting into the wall, and just huge rents out of the wall. Ice is falling down.
And we see Tormund like seeing everything crumble in front of him.
He's like, go! And you see everybody trying to get down the wall, like to get out. And you see people like falling, and you see Tormund and Beric still running, and this and that. And then it kind of just, you don't see them.
You see wide.
You see wide, and then you see the Night King stops the dragon, and he just starts laying into this one spot into the wall with just the fire breath. And eventually this whole section of wall just crumbles to the ground.
Yeah.
The tip of the arrowhead just falls into the sea, and it all comes down. And then the White Walker army just walks forward.
Yep. So they're
and you see them getting over the rubble and coming down. And
great ending shot. All of them are finally over the wall, and we see the dragon flying south.
And you see a nice sweeping view of this, like them heading south. That's it.
Yeah, that's the end. That's all we're gonna see until the next season, the final season. I don't know when that's going to be because I've heard rumors about how it's not going to debut even next year. We might have to wait till 2019.
Why?
Because every episode is going to be a movie. We get 6 movies basically next year. You know what I mean?
No.
But I mean, there's a lot of production on that goes into it. I'm sure this is going to be most effects. Effects heavy.
Stupid heavy.
I'm sure the practical effects are going to be super heavy as well. They're going to want to push the envelope on all boundaries. So I could see us not getting Game of Thrones at all in 2018, and we're going to be getting it in 2019. That's what I think is going to happen. Do you think that's possible? Because I think it is.
It's highly possible. I don't want to even think about that.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Unfortunately.
Man. But
it's going to be rough.
The good news is, folks, is that if you're down on Game of Thrones, you're sad that it's over. There's so much material to go into. So I've talked to you guys about the World of Ice and Fire book. I'm telling you, pick up that book. You will be so much more knowledgeable about everything that's happening.
It looks like it's very intimidating, but
no, there's so many illustrations and it breaks everything down kind of like a textbook, but it's just very interesting. It's written from the point of view of a Meister who wrote it. So it's not like George R.R. Martin is writing like this character said this to this character. It's written as historical text, and it's so awesome that every single Targaryen king is broken down, like their reign, what happened in it. The Long Night has gone into all the legends in Game of Thrones are covered in that book. You need to pick that up.
The children of the forest.
Yeah, from the very beginning. That's known.
All the dragons.
Right.
What happens.
Right. All the way up through the beginning of. I think at the very end they mentioned Tommen was just crowned king or something. So
it goes straight up.
It goes all the way up there. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
I thought it stopped at basically at the end of Robert's Rebellion.
No, it keeps going. It talks more about what happened there. I think there's a little. I'm not sure if they go into the war with the Greyjoys when everybody teams up to go after the Greyjoy Rebellion. Like that's when everyone goes after. That was the last war before the show started.
Oh, okay.
Was the Greyjoy Rebellion. And literally, like the Lannisters, the Baratheons, Ned Stark, and like everyone goes after the Greyjoys because they got declared king, Balon or whatever his name is. Oh, and that's where Theon is taken to. Winterfell.
So it's still like 10. 12 years or something like that.
Prior, yeah. So that was the last great war of Westeros before this started. So, but I love that book, man. And also the Dunk and Egg Tales, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It combines the 3 novellas so far for Dunk and Egg, which is about Aegon the 5th Targaryen and Sir Duncan the Tall. And it's a lighter tone, but it's still very Games of Thronesy. And George R. R. Martin said he really wants to get back to doing that too because there's a big arc in there, and actually you could see, if you want to spoil it for yourself, I mean it's going to be in the World of Ice and Fire book what happens to them, where it leads up to, but there's little details in there, but like the first 3 novellas collected into one book called Night of the Seven Kingdoms, like really good, really good about a kid. Aegon's just a kid in that, and no one knows who he is. It's very interesting stuff. And also, of course, the regular books. I mean, the illustrated version of A Game of Thrones I haven't been able to start reading it because I've been so busy. But
and that's a hell of a book to get through.
Right, but I mean, there's more illustrations in there, and then all the other books are out. like there's more stuff to watch and theories and stuff online. Alt Shift X.
Alt Shift X is fantastic.
Check his channel out for theories, and there's a ton of other theory channels that are great.
You could do that all day.
Right. So it's very interesting stuff. Even if it's not true, it's just interesting to talk about. So if you want to watch more stuff, go ahead and look at those theory videos. If you want to read more stuff, just read the Game of Thrones novels, novellas, everything that's out there. World of Ice and Fire. I'm telling you.
I want to read that myself. I've paged through it at his house a bunch of times, and it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous book. There's a lot of very detailed illustrations, and the quality of the book itself, the pages, the art. It's very high quality.
Right,
so
it's great. It's
really, really good.
And I even like how even how the Iron Throne looks is supposed to be completely different in the books, and how they illustrate it is how it looks in the books, and it's much larger, and it just everything is more book accurate, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pick some of that stuff up if you're really interested. So that's the end of this vlog series.
Yeah.
We got through all seven episodes of Game of Thrones. For this season. So next, I'm thinking of doing Star Wars Rebels. The last season of that is season 4 coming out in fall. So I'm really looking forward to that because I really like Star Wars Rebels. I'm thinking about maybe doing some more of those coming up, some other vlogs, maybe Stranger Things or something. Not sure yet. I'm 3 episodes in on Defenders.
I'm 5. I just got done with 5. I got 6, 7, and 8 to do.
Right. So I gotta finish that up too. There's only 8 episodes?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's only 8 episodes.
Okay.
So that's kind of like
a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if I'll review that or not when it's over, but I might. So stay tuned for that. But for sure, Star Wars Rebels will be the next vlog series. Maybe Stranger Things season 2 at the end of October, but I'll still try to put out at least a video a week on here. I got top 5 stuff going on, but if you haven't checked out top 5, then obviously
fantastic
check
show.
out top 5. Oh, it's great. The best. Number 1.
Stop it. Not in my house.
I know. Sorry.
But yeah, it's a great show. He puts a lot of heart and work into it.
Man.
It's Nolan episode he just put up, great.
Yeah, that was the longest
movies.
episode I did. Check that out.
So it's really good.
My favorite
a lot
director.
Of work. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks. For
really funny. Dino Rob.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
It's great. So
thanks, man.
I just want to really quick. Closing thoughts on the season overall, like how it compares to the other seasons.
I mean, there were great moments in this season. There were a few great episodes. Everything was very good. Like the quality of everything was awesome. The greatest moment to me was in the 5th episode when Dany burned up all of the Lannister army or whatever. That was my favorite, I think, moment of the entire season. So that was awesome. Revelations, we found out Jon's true parentage. All that stuff's finally out in the open now, and it's just an amazing show. It's like nothing else that's ever been on TV before or in movies because they have so much time to go into certain details and things. So it's a great freaking show. I don't know if it's my favorite. I think I might like season 6 a little bit better. I'm not sure yet. I gotta think about it. I gotta digest this stuff. But season 7 is still great. Really hypes you up for season 8, and it's the final season. So what about you?
I loved it. I thought this was a really, really fantastic season. It was very fast-paced. It's something we haven't seen yet. I mean, we knew that it was supposed to. They were going to be moving, and we weren't sure how fast they were going to be moving in this.
Right.
But looking episode 1, episode 7, I mean, they covered so much ground.
Definitely.
A lot of. I'm not sure exactly how much time exactly passed.
That's got to be a lot, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we really moved these stories forward. Mm-hmm. We started. It showed that it's the beginning of the end. Right. And you really get that sense from it, so everything feels a little bit more grand. I feel like this they had to have this season be more grand than the others because of everything kind of finally coming together and seeing all of these different story arcs really coming to a head. And so it just had a very large scale to it, even though we only had 7 episodes.
This is why I want to see it in movie theaters. I wish they would do that, because I would make time to go on Sundays. I would do it.
Even if we had to drive a while, I would go,
man, because the experience would be amazing. And especially seeing it with so many people, I mean, that would be amazing. I wish they would do that.
There's a huge Game of Thrones fan base.
Yeah, they're all over the place, man.
And so it would be fantastic. They would make so much money.
I know. And they would make a ton of money. So we'll see what happens with that.
So yeah, overall, I think it's fantastic. I'm kind of with you. I might like season 6 a little better, but season 7 is a really strong contender for number 1. I'd have to think about it some more. I'll be thinking about this for like weeks.
Yeah, it's to me right now it could change, but I'm thinking maybe the second or third best season because I still love that first season. I mean, there's nothing that's going to be like that. The last season I definitely think was better, but the first season had Sean Bean and I can't remember the guy who plays King Robert and all that, but all the characters that started off and we saw the downfall and everything. I really missed that, man. Yeah. I love Sean Bean. I want more. I want more Sean Bean.
I had Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief on earlier today, and Sean Bean plays Zeus, and I'm like, hey, he's not dead.
He's immortal.
Like, yeah. Like, someone's gonna come and chop his head off.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. But I do miss Sean Bean too.
Yeah. So it's a great show, man. I'm glad we got to get through all this, and I'll be back soon with more videos on here. Porter might be popping up on Channel Awesome soon. I mean, I know he's going to be popping up on Channel Awesome pretty soon, and some big stuff. So check that out. Just take a look. It might be huge. Did you get that? You'll get it later. Okay. So until next time, guys, it will be huge. And I'll talk to you later, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
With us. Winter's here.
Winter is here.
Bye.
And the end is near.